Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Katia Figueiredo, and I'm happy to welcome you here today in one of the Innov Open Market Consultation events, where today CTTI takes the center stage with its challenge called AI for Justice. We are going to start this session with a warm welcome from Bertrand Vert, setting the stage for an exciting innovation exploration. And then you will gain insights into the Innov program, the driving force powered by the European Innovation Council that fuels organizational growth. Then the important part of the event that I'm sure you're looking for, Ignacy Bonnet from CTTI will present you a pressing challenge that requires an innovation solution. Obviously, as an open market consultation event, you, the attendees, will be more than welcome to engage with the speakers in the Q&A part of this event. And you will have two different ways to participate in the discussion. So you can either raise your hand and we will give you the ability to unmute yourself, or if you prefer, you can simply use the Q&A box to write your questions, your comments, and your remarks. One final practicality, so this event is being recorded for dissemination purposes in the scope of the Innov project. And without any further ado, I would like to introduce Bertrand Vert from the European Innovation Council to share a few words about today's event.
Thanks a lot. Katia, for this introduction. Welcome, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I'm talking here from Brussels, from the European Innovation Council, and indeed, I am part of the team that is supporting our members, the EIC beneficiaries, companies, startups coming from all over Europe that we are financing to develop innovative solutions. I'm supporting these companies, there are more or less 5,000 of them, to get in contact with, in this case, with buyers, with potential clients, buyers of innovative solutions. And this is actually the case for CTTI, this organization based in Catalonia that is supporting various public stakeholders to go for more innovative solutions. Overall, the EIC, our objective is, as I said, to support our company to go further than only what we deliver to them. We are financing them. We are taking share in the companies, in the most promising European companies in any sector. But in this case, we do want to insist on the idea of supporting them to have first clients and to meet with buyers. Indeed, just to let me recall a very basic, important data to give us an idea. We know that in Europe, more than 15% of the European GDP is used via direct public procurement, because here we are talking about a public procurer. Indeed, we can say if we would dedicate part of this 15%, something like 3,000 billion euro per year, if we would use it, part of it to purchase innovative solutions, we can imagine how much it could support innovative companies to develop on one side. And on the other side, it is also the beauty of innovation procurement. On the other side, it helps, in this case, Ministry of Justice. It helps this ministry to go for more innovative solutions that can fit better the needs of the workers or the needs of the citizens, for more greener solutions or more adapted solutions to face also the challenges that we can imagine such an important public service in Spain, in Catalonia, is develop and to manage and to run justice for the citizens. So it's really also a pleasure from this point of view to be involved in innovation procurement. And thank you again to the Innov Buyer Consortium, to you, Katia, and to F6S that is actually running this consortium that is developing Innov Buyer. My last word would be that to say to the audience that apart from right now today's open market consultation with the case of CTTI, we do have other 14 challenges in very direct different sectors. So I invite all of you, notably the SME startups from the EIC, but also not only from the EIC, to have a look to these 14 other challenges, and why not to get involved. And here I think, Katia, you have more to tell us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bertha. So yes, before we move to the challenge presentation, a few words about what is InnoBuyer. So InnoBuyer is a project funded by the European Commission via the European Innovation Council, and it's being implemented by 3 different organizations, F6S, Vivita, and TIC-BioMed. And in a nutshell, InnoBuyer brings together public or private organizations that we call challengers, and innovative SMEs that we call solvers, and to jointly co-create innovative solutions. And this is done in 4 sequential steps. So InnoBuyer helps organizations first to identify and to describe their innovation needs. On a second stage, to find and connect them with innovation suppliers, to co-create pilots with innovative companies. And finally, InnoBuyer offers legal support for the organizations to prepare a tender to purchase the co-created solutions. And as you can see, there is funding associated to each one of these 4 actions. Up until now, we have been working with a selection of 15 challengers, as Bertrand was saying, supporting them to improve the description of their unmet innovation needs. And we are currently in this second phase of the program, where we are helping the challengers, so the big organizations, to connect with innovation providers in activities such as this open market consultation event. Innovation providers, so the innovative SMEs, will be able to propose solutions to these 15 InnoBuyer challengers that we are presenting. So innovative solutions will be able to apply to a call for solvers that we will launch in this month of October. And the selected applicants will have the chance to get up to 58.5K to co-create a challenge, to co-create a pilot, sorry, with the challenger in a 10-month period. Okay. So, suggestion for you, innovative SMEs, stay tuned to be aware once this call for solvers is launched. And you can do this by simply following InnoBuyer channels that you are seeing on the screen now, okay? So that you don't miss the announcement once the call is open. So let's move now to the most important part of the event, the one that you are waiting for. So I would like to introduce you Ignacy Bonet from CTTI, who will present their challenge. So I'll stop sharing my screen now to give you the floor.
Thank you, Katia. This is Ignacy Bonet speaking in behalf of the CTTI, the Centre of Telecommunications. Let me share the presentation to make easy the understanding of this project. Let me see this. I hope you see the presentation.
Yes, perfect.
All right, then let me explain you what we're thinking about, how we can innovate in the CTTI. Who we are. We are the Centre of Telecommunications and Information Technologies. It's an enterprise located in Barcelona. It's a public enterprise. This is the main provider of IT solutions and telecommunication connectivity for all the local regional government of the Generalitat of Catalunya. It's responsible, as you can read, for designing, building, coordination, and deploying technological projects, all of them oriented to public administration in general, but to be more specific, to the government of the Generalitat of Catalonia. So we are not a provider of general solutions for general public or enterprises. In this sense, as a technological provider, we are trying not only to provide existing solutions in the market, but we're trying to be more imaginative, more innovative, and trying to search for solutions that nowadays there is no solution. This is the case of what we have named EA for Justice. We're trying to apply artificial intelligence to the justice service. In which sense? Think of a judge judging any case. To be more precise, we will see further more in advance. Think of a judge of a mercantile issues. To judge a question, there is always the same methodology, the same protocol. In the lawsuit, we have to gather governing documents, demand, response. There is a presentation of claim. There is the incidents in admissions. There is an answer holding the hearings. There is always this methodology in which, after all the information is gathered, the judge must write a sentence. This sentence is always has almost the same structure, and in most cases, the same heading, very similar legal foundations. There is a dispositive part that can be very similar to previous sentences. We have a jurisprudence, an historical database of sentences that can be used, and nowadays is used, to write a new sentence. But this process of writing is very slow and can add this sense of slow justice to the citizenship. The judge consulting his own local database, his own previously written sentences, the sentences that he can find in the Generalitat public database of Justicia.cat, which is an online site that you can consult previous sentences, or the jurisprudence from the Spanish Justice Service, the CENDOG, in which you can consult, read, and reuse previous sentences. This process leads in statistically an amount of 3 sentences every 2 working days. And we're thinking, could we find a way in which at least the time of writing a sentence is reduced? We have all the same methodology of the lawsuit, but in the time of writing this sentence, could we design a tool that has access to the databases, both local and cloud-based, in which this consultation is made automatically, and there is a draft writing of the sentence in which the judge only has to review that the headings, the legal foundations are correct, and any part of the sentence is at least has gathered all this needed information just to write the perfect sentence. It's not a question of making an automatic process of sentencing, but we can try to develop an automatic system to writing drafts of the sentence just to aid the judge to accelerate the process of writing a sentence. The aim at the end is we have a problem. We have a lawsuit in which we have to draft a sentence. Can we find a solution that produces an output, which is the draft, that can make the judge being faster to write a sentence, the outcome, that produces in the citizenship the feeling that the justice is no longer so slow? Perhaps it's not the only solution, but it can be a very useful solution that the same judges can do, can write a lot more sentences than not having this automatic tool. And this is the aim of this challenge that we propose to you. We're trying to add technological tools to the day-by-day basis work of a judge with a solution truly adapted to the needs of the end users, in this case, the judges. And we are thinking, we are not trying to induce you any kind of thinking, but we think that a standalone app or web app able to search for similar sentences, to extract the most important parts and gather all together this jurisprudence, both local in the own PCs or resources of the judge, or in public jurisprudence, understanding by public that is sentences that can be reached by the judges. Not, I understand that all the population is not able to reach them, but the judges must access to this information. Can we search in this information and write a proposal, a draft of the sentence? The solution could be scalable to other kinds of justice. We as we said, and as we will see, we are trying to simplify this challenge to work only in mercantile justice, but we can talk of any kind of judge. We can talk about any kind of judicial system in any country or any region around Spain or Europe. We are trying to talk about interoperability based on standards. In which languages? In our case, it's mandatory to have a solution able to understand, to extract information, and to write sentences both in Catalan and Spanish, because they are the languages in which the sentences can be found in our case. These would be mandatory requirements. We can have optional requirements open to your imagination, but we are thinking about a friendly user interface, perhaps with a single signed-on in which accessing to the app or the standalone app or the web app, we can as well access to all the databases, so that only writing once the sign-on, you can access to all your resources just to write this draft. Which conditions we are thinking of this pilot? As I've said before, just to simplify this first attempt to try to find this solution, to design this solution, it will be restricted to the mercantile field. Technologically, we think that the solution must be provided hosted by the provider, because the conditions in our own servers in the CTTI are very thought for exploitation conditions, not for exploration conditions. So I think that will be easier if we develop a solution in the premises of the provider, just not to stress the proceedings in the CTTI that only could add more delays in the developing of this possible solution. In a functional level, the praying of requirements, needs, and validation will be with magistrates observers that will collaborate with this project. And according to the ICT area of the department, we can be sure that we can commit to the conditions needed for the CTTI to develop a solution able to be hosted in our servers, or at least able to work with our database. As I said, we will access to some data. Some will be or could be local, and in any other cases it will be in the cloud as well. The Centre or Justicia, which are the two sites which gather the jurisprudence in Spain and in Catalonia, respectively. The case of the database of the Spanish government, Centre, it has anonymized data, but the Justicia has not this data anonymized. So previously, we must think of an anonymizing solution, or at least a solution that will be compliant with the GDPR, just to be sure that personal data is not it's not under risk. What are we thinking of? Which could be some indicators that our solution is aiming to a good solution. Nowadays, as we said before, a judge can write 1.39 sentences a day. Any solution that increases averagely 30%, writing almost 2 sentences a day, or a 50% increment, writing over 2 sentences a day, would be a solution that would be considered interesting for the justice system. We can have as well subjective, not objective, but subjective appreciation of the solution. We can test with the magistrates collaborating with the project that evaluate this solution. Or if we have a more large public test, we can ask them what they feel about the use of the solution, ranking from 1, the tool redacts incorrect drafts. It's not a useful tool. 2, the tool is poor. I need too much supervision to validate the sentences. 3 will be a correct tool. It has enough good sentences, but the time that I spend revising these sentences, it's similar to the time I spend writing my own draft. Or even reaching a 4 on a 5, in which the tool is perfect, little supervision, the quality of the draft is very good to accept that they have an excellent increase in performance by writing these sentences. What are we talking about if the project is successful? The Catalan judicial system, has about 846 judges around Catalonia, the Northeast territory. We have about 11 judges every 100,000 inhabitants. This solution could be escalated to the whole judiciary system in Catalonia, but we are negotiating with the rest of judges in Spain. This must be considered 12 autonomous communities that have their own judicial system and 5 communities that the system is under the Spanish ministry competence. But we are talking about 5,000, almost 6,000 judges around Spain. That means 12 judges every 100,000 inhabitants. Of course, this solution, it can be escalated from this test to the whole Catalonia or even the whole Spain. It could be escalated to the whole European system. From now on, what are we waiting from you? Which kind of questions I think that it could be interesting for you, or that I think that we can help you to solve? First of all, which kind of solutions are you thinking beforehand? We can discuss about that. I know that the perfect proceeding is just to ask for the needs of the judges and then design the solution. But I think that you have some ideas beforehand, and we can comment them. Have you detected many main barriers during my explanation, or barriers or perhaps ambiguities that you want to have a deeper knowledge? Do you find that there is any requirement difficult to manage? Which is it? And we can discuss about that. Do you need any further information? Let's talk about that. Perhaps today in this half an hour of question and answers will not be enough to answer all of these questions, but I invite you to contact, please. There is to address to the discussion section of the challenge website, in which you can make any kind of question that we will try to answer you, considering you, all of your, the ones that are interested in solving this or participating in this challenge. I think I've been in time, even there are some minutes left. So if you want, we can open a discussion just to talk about this challenge, what you think about it, and what are your first impressions about this challenge.
Yes,
Thank you for your work.
Thank you so much, Ignacy. So as you saw, we are now entering the Q&A part of this event. So the part where we are inviting you, the attendees, to join us here in the discussion, to join Ignacy, and also to join Lucas de Bont, that is here today with us, part of the Innovation Consortium, working with this challenger in particular. So as we said at the beginning, there are two ways that you can use to join the discussion, to address one of the questions that you are seeing here on the screen, or if there are things that you would like to ask to Ignacy, take advantage of his presence here today and ask them directly to Ignacy. And you can do it in two ways. You either raise your hand and we will give you the possibility to turn your mic on and ask your question. Or if you prefer, there is a Q&A box here that you can use to send your questions in written format. So I can see that we have one hand that is raised, but this was raised before, so I'm not sure if the person still wants to talk. I will in any case give you the possibility to unmute yourself. So right now you should be able to turn your mic on and ask your question if you still wish so. No? Okay, so this was raised before, so probably the question was already answered, but we have a second hand raised. So I will give you now the possibility to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello there, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Hey, so I'm Paulo from LGI. Thank you so much for your presentation. I had a question about the anonymization requirements. You mentioned that some of the data sets are not anonymized and that we should somehow anonymize those. I assume with this large volume of data, it's not feasible to do this manually, and any algorithm will have a certain degree of error, for example, detecting names, etc. Do you have any benchmark for how good it should be anonymized?
About the anonymization, first of all, we must talk about if there is really a need to anonymize it. And the solution, we can discuss of this kind of solution. One possible solution is to limit the access to the data, in the sense that perhaps it's not required just to do a first test, just to identify an MVP. Perhaps we have to access to the whole bunch of the sentences. We can limit to some sentences that we know that are anonymized, or that can be easy to be anonymized, or that we have an algorithm that can anonymize in a very easy way. This has not to be the focus of the problem. It is a condition that we must solve, but we can find imaginative solutions to manage it. It hasn't to be the stopper of the project.
Okay, thank you.
That was answered. Do we have more questions for Ignacy, or some thoughts, some comments about the questions that you are now seeing on the screen? If so, just raise your hand or send us your question via the Q&A box. And while we wait for the first questions to come, I will invite Lucas to join us, to join the discussion. Any thoughts, any comments that you would like to add to the discussion?
Yes, thank you very much. Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so sorry, my internet connection was a little bit spotty, but I had a question for you. I think that the challenge that you're working on is very, very important. Also because it has a lot of different areas, right? So I was wondering, are there any kind of restrictions to the solvers on what they can do with the knowledge that they learned from solving your challenge? The reason why I'm asking is because you are as I can imagine, inserting the kind of facts of the case, and then this AI model, they will make a kind of a decision or some suggestions to the judge in this case. I can also see a lot of educational benefits here, maybe for law students. Can they maybe use this model to see how their initial defenses would be, or things like that? Is that allowed under your pilot scope and pilot conditions, or are there anything in place that might withhold a solver from further exploiting what they've learned? Did that make sense?
It makes sense as a solution, as a commercial product. This when we have talked about the scope of the final solution, which is the potential market, you have opened a new potential market. I think that if we're talking about an MVP, just to try to identify if this technology is available, is reasonable, it's a good solution. I think that counting with some actual magistrates that said in my daily basis, this is a good solution. If this is a good solution for these testers, for the students, it would be a very useful tool. For them participating in the test, I don't know if counting with the students that are learning is the best way to test the good quality of the solution. But clearly, they could be users, not testers, which is more important for me, I think, for the future providers of this solution.
Good. So, do we have more questions this time from the audience? Don't be shy. This is your opportunity to take advantage of this opportunity of having Ignacy here available to answer your questions. Of course, as Ignacy said, the discussion won't end by the end of this event. Or even if you are seeing the recording of this event, you still have the opportunity to ask questions, to clarify some details there. As Ignacy said, there is the page that you use to register for this event. So the F6S page that you use to register for this event has a section called discussion. And if you have questions, you can use that section to post your questions there, and we can answer them. This page is open for everyone, so the information that we will be sharing will be available for anyone interested in following the discussion there. So the discussion doesn't end by the end of this session. The discussion doesn't end here. If you have other questions, we will be able to address them. But it would be amazing if we could use the rest of the time that we have today to answer them directly and jointly discuss other things that may come from this moment. So we have one question that came in written form, so I will read it now. What knowledge or experience your team members will bring to the pilot co-creation? So, Ignacy?
Yeah, there are two kinds of collaborators. First of all, are some magistrates that can cooperate with all their experience. They will be the users of this solution, or the representatives of these users. If they are happy with this solution, it's very probable that any judge at least in the Catalan systems, will be happy with this kind of solution. So they are the users. They can show which are their preferences, how they could use this tool, and how the results fit with their expectations. On the other hand, we have another kind of collaborators, which is the technical ones, in which they can show if you are trying to reach Catalan databases in the way in which a CTTI is allowed to, if you are using the right permissions, if you are using the technology that is compatible with the standards of the Catalan government. This is not a mandatory for an MVP, but if we want to escalate the solution in someday, we will try to, if it's hosted in our servers, it must be compatible. If it's not hosted, it will have to access information in a proper way. So this kind of expertise is what we hope of our technicians to provide to you.
Okay, answered, I believe. This is your chance to send us your questions. You still have some minutes until the end of this event. So if you have any questions that you would like, or simply some comments about what you have heard, something that isn't totally clear about what was presented, or something that comes to your mind that could be a solution or a challenge. So any ideas are very welcome.
If I may, is there already some data available that solvers could use in their pilot processing?
Working with the judges, we must identify which data we could use. In the beginning, Justicia.cat and Centog are both databases that we will use in this case. So they can try to reach these kind of databases and see which kind of information there is there in this database. Local databases, by definition, every judge has his own style, and perhaps we must convince them just to keep the information in a proper way, just to make compatible the solution. But this is the question about working with judges that they can explain what they have and they can receive what they must do from now on.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Ignacy. So I'm making a final call for questions. Just give the opportunity for those that can be more shy to join the discussion. If you're not comfortable in raising your hand to speak, you can simply use the Q&A box and we will read what you have to share.
What would be like a really good characteristic of the solver that you might be looking for? Like, what's the most important thing that a solver might have to have?
I think that we must rely on the opinion of the magistrates. They are the users, so we must hear of them which are their expectations in both senses, just to try to accomplish these expectations or to relax these expectations. This is impossible. There is no solution nowadays, perhaps in the future, but this dialogue is essential. If the judges don't see this tool useful, it won't be used. So the project will end with the first no MVP. But if the expectations are too high, it's our duty to just explain them. What are you asking is a miracle, not a project. So let's relax these conditions. But essentially, we must talk to the user.
Are there some concerns that you already foresee that the users may have about the potential solution?
I didn't want to say that, but GPT. They have used GPT. So there is this kind of expectation. They have used them as amateurs. So they know this can be helpful. If any solution demonstrates that this is really helpful and confident, then they will be very proud of using. We have the magistrates that is participating in the project. They are pioneers. They are technology driven. This will be the easy part. We don't have to convince them that technology is useful. They know that, but they want to see a solution that fits this expectation.
Good to know. So I will just remember one last time that attendees can still have the chance to join with other thoughts, comments, answers. As if not, then I will move to the end of the session. You will lose your opportunity to have your question answered here live by Ignacy. The discussion won't be over. We have the discussion page at F6S that we will be able to keep using to address any other questions that may come later, or if you are seeing this later on as a recorded event and therefore you cannot send us your questions. So I don't see any other hand raised, neither any other question coming. So I think we can move to the final part of the event. Okay, so we are now reaching the end of this session. I would like to thank the attendees that have been here with us and the ones that send us their questions. Not so many questions, but I guess what Ignacio presented was super clear. Thank you, Ignacio, for that, for presenting us your challenge. And thank you, Lucas, for also joining the discussion. Let me just share a few reminders. So as we said, the conversation doesn't end now. We have the event page that you use to register to be here available with a section called discussion, where you can share your questions or your comments. That page is publicly available for everyone, so you can see not only what we will answer you, but also questions brought by other people. As we said, we have a call for solvers coming up in this month of October, so stay tuned for it. Make sure that you don't lose the announcement once the call is launched. So register for, subscribe in Innov newsletter, follow us on social media. So via the different channels that you are seeing here, make sure to follow us so that you don't miss the announcement of the call for solvers that will be launched very soon. So that's all from our side. Thank you so much to everyone and have a nice day.